Michelle here. In today's video, I think you can see what we're doing. Today we're going to do a little bit of repotting. I have some Hoya here, just a few this time, but they're larger Hoya. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take some Hoya out of some larger pots. I'm going to take them out of pond. A couple I have, they're all in pond, I think. And we're going to take them out of pond. We're going to go ahead, we're going to kind of examine the roots. We're not going to mess with them very much this time. I'm going to try to kind of transplant them as little disturbance as possible this time. We're going to pot them up into my organic mixture, my organic substrate. And while we'll do that, we're going to go ahead, and I am not a very big YouTube person, but I am going to go ahead and go over and answer Wildfern's tag of her 10 questions for the end of the year or the beginning of the new year. So I'm going to go ahead and go over her questions and answer them today. Be a little fun little video. So if you like today's video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That lets the word get out to the YouTube universe, the plant YouTube universe, that my channel exists and that I might be out here with some content that they might like to watch. If you'd like to help out the channel a little more, please consider subscribing to the channel. I have a goal to make it to 1,000 subscribers, and I am really getting a lot closer to that goal. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed, or if you're thinking about subscribing, thank you if you're gonna subscribe. If you'd like to go ahead and help out this particular video, please put a comment in the comment section below. I do read and respond to all the comments on my videos, so I will get back to you. Sometimes it takes me a little longer to get back to you, but I will, I promise. And now let's go ahead and grab the first Hoya. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Hoya that I need to get taken care of the most first. So I'm going to grab this little mystery Hoya right here. This little guy, well, he's not really very little. He's got this right here. I do believe this is a Hay. At least I do believe. The bottom leaves tell me that it's a Hay. The new leaves say, why isn't it a latifolia of some type? Especially leaves like this and leaves like this. So I do have questions on it. I am not for sure. So if you have guesses, put it in the comment section and let me know what you think it is. I did just treat this for scale, so I am going to look, and I'm going to take my glasses off for a little bit because I am having sight issues right now. So I do see some scales. So this Hoya, I was having a scale issue with. I do need to put some more systemic granules in this. So I'm gonna spray down the stem, if I can get the word out, with rubbing alcohol before I unpot this. So this is in a organic substrate right now, but it's in a self-watering pot. So do I really want to unpot this right now? It's got this bar in it. It's in an organic substrate. Now I'm rethinking, what do I want to do with this? It's already grown out to the net pot. I do not see any. Oh, I do see a root mealy. Yes, I do. I do see root mealies. So this definitely needs to get some systemic granules in it. So we do need to go ahead and get rid of this substrate. I'm thinking about what I want to do with this Hoya. I'm thinking I don't really want to mess with this Hoya very much because it's got root mealies and scale. And I don't want to really contaminate the rest of the Hoya with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just okay, so what I am going to do with this is I'm going to put it on a trellis, and I'm going to okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to treat this with systemic. I put a trellis on this. Once I get done treating this with systemic, and I go ahead and get rid of the root mealies because I only saw one root mealie. I didn't see any root mealies in the pot. I also need to get rid of the scale. So once I treat this with systemic again, get rid of the scale, get rid of the root mealies, I'm going to repot this. I'll be able to take this trellis, I'll go ahead and repot this into a standalone transparent pot, get rid of that, then this will be on its way. So this will be, we're not going to mess with this right now because I don't want to contaminate all of this with root mealies, with scale, with all of that. So Hanye is out of the way. All right, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. This is another Hanye. This is my main Hanye. And as you can see, it's been producing some really big leaves, some very gigantic leaves, but it's in pon. It's in so packed of pon. As you can see, look at these roots. This pot is really small. It needs to come out of this. It needs to get potted up in a larger pot. Let me see where I put my pots. That is too small. So let me get larger pots and I'll be right back. Okay, so I was lucky enough that my son went outside and brought me some pots. So this is my trash pot. This is the pot I'm going to put all the pon in. And I think this is too big, but I think this is just right. So we're going to put the pot in this. So first thing we got to do is we got to take this out of the pon. And while I'm answering this, I'm going to answer the first question, which is, what is a plant that you crossed off your wish list this year? Let's see. What is a plant? I will probably say that a plant I crossed off my wish list this year. One I definitely crossed off my wish list this year was the Matrata Silver, which I got for my birthday. I got that. So that one was really nice. I am looking at these roots and realizing that unless I cut this pot, I'm not going to be able to take these roots with it. So, because these roots are actually growing through the tiny holes, not the larger holes. So let me cut this first. So, one I also got that was on my wish list is the discipulae, or discipulae. I got that. Unfortunately, that's kind of in plant ICU right now. I got a lot of Hoyas that I could cross off my wish list. Let me look at, I closed, I know, Verstigii, that's the one. Verstigii was really the one that I crossed off of my wish list this year. I really wanted that. I got it in July, and it is growing like gangbusters right now. It grew like 3 sets of leaves and then kind of stopped. But that is a Hoya I got this year that I was really excited about. And I am stuck with the roots on this guy. They grew into, let me just cut the string. There we go. And let's cut the pot. This is not going to be reusable, but that's okay. I am going away from the net pots, but this is a good net pot, so I am kind of sad that I'm not going to be able to use this net pot again. Okay, so let's see what we got. We got, this is the root system that was in the reservoir. So we're just going to kind of keep that, see if we can't, oh no, well, those roots went with that. That's a bummer. We're going to throw those away without thinking about it. Now this is all pon that we just have to kind of loosen up. I'm just going to kind of roll this in my hands and kind of try to loosen up, get all the pon off as quickly as we can, as painless as we can. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to test roots. I'm just trying to get pon off the roots without disturbing the roots as little as we can. I'll show you the roots at the top are pretty frazzled looking. I'm not going to worry about those. I am really disappointed about this roots because this was a very healthy piece of root. That was probably the healthiest piece of root in the whole plant. Thankfully we still have this root, which I am not going to try and mess with. As you can see this mesh of roots that I talk about when I talk about pon. It's a mesh of roots. I don't believe it's the strongest root system that you can have, especially when a plant gets larger. I do believe it's a weaker root system than you can have if you plant your Hoya in, say, soil or an organic substrate. Okay, I think I got almost all the pon out except for this one patch back here. I want to kind of get as much of the pon out as possible, but I'm not, as you can see, I'm trying to keep this root system intact. I'm not trying to, I've learned my lesson in messing with the roots. As you may not be able to see, but if I can zoom in, there are no torn up roots in this pond. There are no little pieces of roots. I kept this very, very untouched. So let's go ahead and see. If I put this in here, if you see that, that's actually kind of too small. I think I want to go ahead and put it in the big pot. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in with my organic substrate, which I'm going to show you again. This mix is a little more with the bark and a little less with the cocoa husks, mainly because I didn't have any cocoa husks. So I have this on a trellis, but I took everything off the trellis. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take these vines off. This is not the most complicated Hoya trellis. This was a pretty simple trellis Hoya. So I think I can take this off and re-trellis it up pretty fast.
You serious?
I didn't really want to untrellis this and re-trellis this back up, but it's kind of automatic, just me taking the Hoya off the trellis as I work with it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a full-size trellis, not the short one I cut, and we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this, me unassembling this Hoya trellis, taking this stem apart. Oh, it does look like it rooted in place. So it has rooted right here. So let me cut this. And I'm going to root it right like that. So when it had wrapped around the trellis, when it came in contact with the soil, it actually rooted there. So it made a new plant, kind of. Okay, so that's everything. This is, like I said, not a very large plant. So those plants were, mainly the Verstigii. That was really my main, wish list Hoya that I got this year, was the Verstigii. I really wanted that a lot. What is a genus that you want to get more into in the new year? I want to get more into carnivorous plants. That is, I have a couple of Drosera in my Millsbow cabinet right now that are waiting to be potted up or, you know, put into terrariums. I have that planned for the new year. Okay, so here we go. Let's put this all in here. This really needs to go this way. So I have some sundews in terrariums. You know, those are fun. So sundews, Drosera. I don't really like pitcher plants. I think those are just a little wacky for me. But I do want to get into those. I think they're so interesting. The colors, the shapes, the dew on them. I tried making a pingdom. Unfortunately, it's so dry here that they just dry up. You can't, let me scoot this over. You can't make a pingdom here because they dry up too much. It's just impossible. They just wither up with the lack of humidity. Even if you have them sitting in water, they still just dry up like nothing within just a few hours. So it's just impossible to keep them alive in a traditional pingdom in a bowl. I tried that, and within like 6 hours I had to get them out because they were drying up and all the leaves were shriveling up. It was sad. I spent so much time on that pingdom, and then they all dried up. But thankfully I saved them all. You know, they had some setbacks, but I saved them and put them in terrariums, so they're fine. It's just the beautiful layout that was the pingdom, you know, it was lost. So, you know, that's what I'm talking about was sad. All right. So we're just about done with this. This is actually very easy to trellis because everything is all on one side. You know, that makes kind of an ugly trellis when everything's all on one side. But, you know, you got to go with what you got. And so, you know, other than that, I don't really have too many philodendrons. I have some, but I have limited space, and the space I have, I kind of try to, you know, devote to Hoya. So, you know, the space outside my cabinets, I mean. So, you know, philodendron take up so much room. So those are kind of, you know, lost leaders for me. And anthurium are beautiful. They're beautiful, beautiful plants. First of all, let me go ahead and show you. This is the Hanhei, the master plant, the mother plant. This is how I retrellised it and repotted it. I think it looks really pretty. Hopefully it has definite room to grow. The trellis is a little floppy right now because I need to water this and get this to all settle in place. But this is the first plant. Let me go ahead and put this down. I'm going to change my battery, and then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to clean all this pond and put it in here. And then we'll go ahead and get started on the next plant and the next questions. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the Fuaensis. Now this Hoya, I have to be really careful with it because it was attacked by mites really bad. I don't even know why I try to save it. I guess what I hope it does is I hope it grows a new vine that is not mite damaged so that I can take cuttings from it and save it. Unfortunately, that's not happened in like 3 years, and it's probably never going to happen, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to take it out of the self-watering pot because I don't think pond is doing it any favors. So let's go ahead and take it out of pond and see what little to no roots it probably has, because these are just cuttings. Oh, looks like it may have some roots. Okay, cutting number 1. Okay, looks like these are all separate cuttings. Oh, yucky, these roots are just, I'm taking the pond off from now. Like I said, I'm trying not to bust up the roots. It does look like they have torn up, they have really not good roots along with some good roots. So I'm going to try and be as gentle as I can and just try to get the pond off and not touch the scary roots, because there are scary roots in this. It looks like there's even maybe some dirt left over from a repot from organic mix to pond. So I'm holding. So let's see what the next question is while I'm doing this. Let's see. What is your plant care routine? Boy, if I want to be honest, that's an embarrassing question. Well, I will be honest because, my plant care routine, lately I don't have much of a plant care routine. I water my plants. I water them all at once. So 90% of my plants get watered all at once, about once every 2 weeks. That's about how I water. I basically go, oh, it's the weekend, it must be about time to water. And then I forget about it, and then it's the next weekend, and it's like, oh, I really need to water because I forgot to water last weekend. I have a shelving unit, a Bitjo shelf, by the front door, and that is my barometer for how dry my plants are, because that shelf, like I said, is by the front door. It has the lowest humidity possible out of all of my Hoya, and it gets the driest and it gets the saddest. So when those plants start getting severely dehydrated, that's when I know it's well past time to water. When I need to repot, is basically I will see it, I will put it on a list, and it'll get done during a repot video like this. Really, I don't do too much repotting or anything on my own. boy, these roots are so bad, I can't even pretend to keep them. These are the roots on the Fuensis. See these? See how mushy they are? I'm not even touching them. I'm not even holding on to them. And they are just coming apart in my hand. I'm just touching them and they are coming apart in my hand. So these I will finger touch and finger pull off. So I know I said I didn't want to touch them, but these I will, because these are really severely awful. They do have some good roots, so that is good. But mostly this is I think I just want to reroot this. That's what I'm going to do. But if I do, I tried rerouting this once before and it was really hellish. But we're going to make an executive decision. We're going to reroot this. This one is okay. This one is okay. This one I can pull the dead off and still have the good root that the base root is. So to complete my care routine, that's pretty much it. I write my chore list down and then I do them during a care video. I mean, that's pretty much it. I think that's really sad, but YouTube encourages me to take care of my plants. What does that mean? I mean, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? So I wish I was like Fern and she devotes every day to taking care of her plants. I wish I was like that. Unfortunately, I'm not. I have, I have fatigue issues. I wish they knew why I had fatigue issues. I get a lot of different answers on that. They do tests. I've had a lot of tests as to my fatigue issues. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Sometimes I had an episode like about a month ago where I was just doing some cleaning of some shelves and I got so overwhelmed, I thought I was going to pass out. Just from some minor stuff that wouldn't affect anybody in any way, and it got me so tired I thought I was going to collapse right there on the floor. It's no fun, when I water my plants, I have to divide them up into zones. Like I'll water this detolf and I'll take a break, and I'll water the plants on the shelves and I'll take a break, and it's really annoying. It's annoying, that's what it is. But you just roll with the punches. And so if doing a YouTube video is my way of getting motivated and situated to do my plant chores, then that's what I do. And it takes me step by step to do plant videos too. It's not like I set this up and do it and get cleaned up and everything all at once either. To do plant videos, I have to set it up in stages too. It's not just one and done on setting them up either. And this Fuensis has given me fits. None of the stems want to stay in the soil, and the pot is too tall, so all the leaves are right at the base of the soil, so I can't stick them in the pot. So, and my phone keeps turning off, so I can't see the next question, unfortunately. So, let me get these little boogers in place, and then I'll go to the next question. I seem to be missing. Do any of you, do you guys do chores for like hours at a time? Or do you take them step by step? What is your modus operandi? Is this just me having this problem, or are you guys able to really do a lot of chores when you go to sit down to do plant chores? Okay, so there we go. This is my Fuensis upside down, but I know it will resituate itself. So that was interesting. The next one is my Lacanosa intervariegated. It's potted up just in a regular pot, and it doesn't really have it's outgrown its pot, so we're going to repot this, and I'm actually going to save this because this is tree fern fiber, so I'm going to reuse this tree fern fiber. I'm just going to take a look at the roots, see what the roots look like. This substrate is really good. It's tree fern fiber and perlite. So let's see what these roots look like. I feel a clump of them in the back. It just the roots were getting compacted and they didn't really have much room to expand, so that's why I went ahead and decided to pot them into a clear pot. Okay. All right, the roots look real good. They're fine. Look good. Let me show you the roots. Roots look real good. Nice and developed. Looks like we still have this reverted part back here. Let me see if I can clip this off. I don't want to clip off part of, part of the plant. There we go. Okay, so when I clipped this off, it came off with part of roots, which is not good. I didn't really want to clip off something with roots. So I clipped this off. This is a reverted part, and it came off with roots attached. So I don't really need to grow a reverted lacanosa. So the next question is a plant success story from 2025. I would say a plant success story for 2025 would be my pistolepsis. That Hoya I've had this year, and it has really, really, really grown a lot. I am very pleased with how much it has grown. It's really, really taken off. It's one of the Hoya that I need to repot this year. It's one of the ones that I have on my Hoya list. So that one is definitely a success story. I got it in, let's see, when did I get my pistolepis? I got my pistolepis for December 2023. So I've had it for 2 years now. And I would say that the growth I've got in those 2 years is really, really good. I'm just mixing up the tree fern fiber it came with some chunky mix. To put in what I'm gonna pot it in. So yeah, I had that in 2023 is when I got it, December 2023. And it has grown just incredibly since I got it. I just am so happy with that Hoya. It's, even the cuttings I take from that Hoya are like really, really, really good. God dang it, I keep breaking. So it's very large now. It's so large now that I need to take it out of the Millsbow cabinet where it's at and transfer it to out of the cabinet, growing. I don't want to do that because I know it's going to slow down. But to be really honest with you, it's so large now that it needs to slow down because I don't really have room for it anymore. It's that large. And so there we go. Damn it, I keep breaking leaves off of this. I'm being too aggressive with my Hoya, unfortunately. And I'm making a mess. That's what I normally do when I go to repot, is I make a gigantic mess everywhere. And then I have this cutting, which was at the bottom of this, but it has this big empty node space. So I just am gonna cut that and pot this in with the rest of the plant so that it can reroot and become part of the plant, like that. There we go. So there is my Lacanosa intervariegated. Along with what is your plant success story is what is a plant failure for 2025. And I definitely have one of those, and that is my Hushkiliana intervariegated. That was a complete failure. When I had my knee surgery, I got, if you don't know me, I had my knee replaced in June, and I was out of commission, couldn't take care of my Hoya for about 3 weeks, and my family graciously helped me, but you know, it's hard to water someone else's plants, so I had some issues, and my Hushkiliana got really dried out, and I didn't notice it until it was at the paper wispy paper thin leaf stage. And this is just that lacanosis thing with roots I cut. I can't throw anything away. And this plant was, I'll put a picture, this plant was large. It was my largest Hoya outside of my Rebecca. So I cut it up because there was no way I could save it as a whole plant. I cut it up, and unfortunately the cuttings did not survive. I tried and I tried and I tried. Oh, this one's got a peduncle. What I'm going to do with this one is, this is my Lacanosa Black. I'm going to repot it. It's in pond. It's constantly getting yellow leaves and dropping leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and get it out of here. It's got some roots in the bottom, but they're not the best. So, oh, and I see a root mealy. No, well, it feels like perlite. It's not smushy. So let's see. But anyway, I tried taking, oh, Jesus. I tried taking cuttings of it, and the cuttings didn't survive. I literally ended up with 2 cuttings. I'll show you a picture of what I ended up with. I ended up with like nothing. But thankfully it's grown. It's growing. It's growing nicely. But, you know, compared to the plant I had, you know, it's nothing, you know. But I'll rebuild. It will regrow. So I just do what I can. These roots are very, 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 very healthy in this Lacanosa Black. I'm very happy with these roots. I'll show you in a minute, just as soon as I massage the pollen out of them. And I'm getting pollen everywhere. It should be fun cleaning up after me after I'm done with this. And that's what I hate about pollen, is getting the pollen out of the very, very inside mesh of the roots, the very inside where the stem is. It's okay. Here are the roots. As you can see, they're very healthy, very thick, very typical Lacanosa roots. So that's good. So now I think we're going to put it in one of these 3.5-inch pots. That looks good to me. And let's get one. I got the Lacanosa in my wrong hand to be potting this up. So, another leaf. Let's make sure we get all these dying dead leaves out of here before I put this on anymore. Okay. So let's open filament. Okay. What season do you find most struggling for plant care? That's very, very easy, and that is summer. Summer is the worst for me for a couple of reasons. The main reason is it's so hot. I live in Las Vegas, in case you're new here, and it gets 115 or above in the summer. So it just is too hot to be going outside and getting all my plant stuff. I have a lot of plant stuff inside though. It's just too hot to be doing a lot of plant chores. And also, with the heat, the plants grow so much. That's like their season to be, wanting to be up potted, and so that's like when all the chores really hit, is summer. Summer is when my Hoyas need the most. So it's also the busy time for me that's when my chore list, as I call it, my never-ending chore list, grows and grows and grows. Now is winter, and my chore list is manageable. It's short. As you can see, whoops, sorry, I'm bumping into the camera. As you can see, my chore list is relatively small this time. I only have like 5 or 6 Hoyas. In the summer, I'll have like 14 or 15. And that's just it. It's just really impossible to manage. Okay, so here is my Lacanosa Black, Lacanosa intervariegated Lacanosa Black. So here we are. We have this. Let me see if I can get this straightened out again, untangled, because and I'm dropping leaves again. Breaking leaves, dropping leaves. See if I can gracefully untangle this Hoya. There we go. So there we are, and it's got a peduncle. Hopefully I didn't knock that off. Right there is the peduncle with blooms, so I didn't kill it, thankfully. Okay, so there we are, got that one done. A plant trend prediction for 2025. Well, I'm not that good at that. Let's see. Okay, I ran out of plants and I still have more questions to answer. So I did bring a spare plant in case I ran out of plants before questions. And that is my my Calistophylla. It is in pond. Bye. Bye, Andrew. It needs to be repot. It needs to be retrellised. I don't know how much I can get done. I cleaned it up. So let's just see. Let's just take it out of here. It's in a grower's pot with some stickly little, let's take this out. All right, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go for it. All right, let's see what this Calistophylla looks like. Come on, baby, you can do it. Okay. Okay, we had, okay. Let's see what we got. We got no roots. This Calistophylla has no roots. It was in a giant pot and it has no roots. Okay, what do the roots look like? They're massively wet. I don't think this Calistophylla likes being massively wet. Okay, well, I know why this plant isn't growing. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this plant didn't die. Okay, we got two plants here. And neither plant have roots. This plant is, these plants' roots are totally rotted. I mean, totally rotted. It's got some sort of base of roots because it's such a large plant. But as for actual roots, no. Wow. Wow, okay. Let me show you. And the wire's bending. Okay. This is the roots. This is the roots for plant number 1. This is the roots for plant number 2. These roots are dead. They're rotted. So I'm just pulling them right off. So while I cut these roots, a plant prediction that I think is going to exist for 2025 is no fuss plants. I believe that we're going to do more acclimating plants to our environments. I think that grow tents are going to go away. Except for cellars. I think cellars are going to keep grow tents. I think regular growers, though, are going to acclimate into regular household conditions for the most part. Am I going to do that? Probably not. I'm not going to get rid of my grow tents. Or not my grow tents, but my cabinets. Will people go to cabinets over grow tents? Yes. I do believe cabinets will stay. I just believe people are going to integrate their plants into their environment more. I think that's going to be more no fuss type of growing. Okay. What am I going to do with this? Oh, I don't know how this is going to grow. I am just tearing up. I am just chopping up all this stuff. Okay. And then there are so many stems on this too, because these had mites, and there are, oh, I broke a leaf, it looks like. Where's the leaf? I don't know, but there's a leaf missing here. Okay, so let's take these off the wire that don't hold it anyway, and let's see what we got. So that's what I think a plant trend for 2026 will be, definitely, is less fuss plants and more integration into your home. Like if the plant requires you to keep it in a grow tent, probably less people are going to buy it. And let's see. Okay. So so this is what I'm left with. I'm left with this right here. Sorry about that. My camera went dead right as I was showing you stuff. So this is one plant, and then this is the other side with a little bit more roots right here, but still. So let's get rid of this. Okay, the next question before I go ahead and pot this up in one of these is, what plant pest did you struggle with the most or fear the most? The plant pest I struggled with the most in 2025 is scale or root mealies. I would say I struggled with scale the most because that was I actually had the most difficulty with. But I also struggled with root mealies a lot this year. I had to treat them a lot. And I'm trying to be very careful with this. I don't know if I can pot both of these Calistophylla up in the same pot anymore. See, because I can't pot it in the giant pot. Well, we will do it and just live with the results. This is going to be a very full pot. So, you know, I treated this year. I also treated for mites. You know, I wouldn't say I struggled with them. I more preventatively treated for them than anything. So I wouldn't say I struggled with them. I didn't really see that I had them. I just treated them just to make sure, you know, preventatively. And this is falling on me. So I need to prop this on something as I add the soil in, because this is coming out. This is hard to sit in here. These because this lip is so tall. I don't know why some pots you have easy times on and some pots are so difficult to pot in. Now the next question is, what is your wish list Hoyas for 2026? And or my top wish list plant for 2026. You know, I have quite a few of my current wish list plants, but the ones that I would like to get for 2026 is, I'm going to hold it up. I would like to get the Caudata Argene. Is it Argene or Argen? The all silver one. The Kenyaka Mariana intervariegated. Gading Ghost. Acuminata. Meredithii species Ache. The species Sumatra, the unsolicited plant tox clone. Hypoplasia. I would really like to have that. I have a discipule, but it is not doing very well right now. It is trying to root, and it is not doing very well on that right now. And those are the ones on my wish list for 2026. So any of those I'm hoping to get. And what is your favorite plant of 2025? My favorite plant of 2025. That's a hard one. Let me finish this Calistophylla repotting, and then I will tell you the answer, because I really don't know. Okay, now let's get a trellis and hope to goodness that I can trellis this thing. Oh, and it's coming out of the pot. Yep, came right out of the pot. Okay. This is interesting. Large Hoyas are always pains in the butt to trellis. I don't know how other people on YouTube just make it look so easy to trellis a large Hoya. They just bloop, 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 and it's in. You know, they just lift it out of the old pot, they put it back in the new pot, and poof, it's done. Okay, so I'm gonna just tack this in place just to get it kind of a working idea of where it's gonna go. Okay. Now, let's get this base down in the...
I can try if you let me. With our lives I am bleeding. Who am I without stories that aren't mine? What I did to achieve you gave me air, thought I had to. I'm untrue, it's not pretty, the truth hurts. And you stayed on the ground while I was high.
Okay, what I ended up doing was I broke two beautiful leaves off it trying to trellis it. And so I ended up cutting off this stem because it stuck out. It was unable to be trellised for how it fit on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and root it in the substrate in here to fill out the pot, like I do with other of my Hoya. So hopefully this creates a more nice, attractive Hoya. And I still got that beautiful leaf that I'm going to try and not damage. So I figure this cutting can go right here. And then I would just get a little pinning fork, pin it down in place. Which is kind of hard to do right now because the soil, the substrate is dry. And then I would pin this right here. So do that. And then these can go back here. And this can go back here as well, or over here. But this needs to be pinned in place. Just trying to put more substrate in the pot, and of course it's going everywhere except in the pot. I'll make it a mess, of course. There we go. And then pin that right here. Okay, so there we go. Did I answer all the questions? Oh, what is my favorite plant of 2025? Okay, so here is my Calistophylla repotted. Hopefully everything is going to be successful and happy in here with its new pot. The last question I have to answer is, what is my favorite plant of 2025? And that would be a tie between the pulchra, the Hoya pulchra, and the Hoya verstigii. Those would be my favorite plants for the year. I really wanted them a lot. I got them in, I got one I bought one and I got one in a trade, and they're my favorites. I have gifted them and traded them, so I passed them along, which is also part of what makes a Hoya a favorite plant for me. So that adds to my enjoyment of the plants. So those were my favorite plants of 2025. What will be my favorite plant of 2026? I don't know. Hopefully it's a very interesting one. So that is my video for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed some repottings. Hopefully in the editing I compressed this a lot and got rid of a lot of the empty, dry, blank spaces of me just staring at my plant going, what am I gonna do? Thank you so much for joining me, especially joining me if you're here till the end. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you saw some Hoyas that you liked. Maybe you were able to get some repotting done while I did this. I still have my original Honhei that I'm going to now repot. Now that I'm done, I'm going to put everything away in stages, and I'm going to go ahead and repot that. I have a pot now I'm going to go ahead and clean that up and repot it and trellis it up and take care of it. So I have some homework to do after I finish this. So thank you again for staying until the end. I really appreciate it. I know that you have so much that you could do with your time. So I really appreciate it that you chose to spend your time with me today. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, I'll see you then. Thanks so much. Bye.
Yes, you